Hello, welcome to episode 5, A Man vs Bees. This is a follow-on video from my last one where we were just feeding the Flow Hive, checking the bees were all right. We moved a couple of the frames, the newly drawn frames, in one position. So today we're just going to check to see if there's been any more comb drawn. Hopefully there has. If there has, I think we're going to be in a position to potentially put the Flow Super on top and we can start potentially gathering some honey. So I can see since last time in the feeder they've drunk quite a lot. It's almost down to the bottom. They've been drinking about 1 litre a day. I've been just peeping on them, just having a little look, seeing how they're doing, and they've drunk about 1 litre of sugar water a day, which is fantastic. So I've left the smoker going. It's just puffing a little bit up by the entrance, so any that are coming back are going to get chilled out a little bit. What I'm going to check first of all is I'm going to take one of the frames out to give me a bit of space to move, and then I'll reassess the rest of the hive. But already I can see they built quite a lot of comb, which is fantastic. Hopefully you can see the amount of bees that are on there. Been working really hard last few days. The weather's been a bit changeable, sometimes sunny, sometimes raining, but they've clearly been making the most out of it, having the feeder there, so even when it's raining they could still be working on what we've got on the working on drawing comb. Right, so I've created a bit of space inside now. What I'm going to do is inspect each of the frames in turn, just to see that if there's any problems with any of them. This one I'm bringing out now is one that just, I think 3 days ago, had no comb on it whatsoever. It was completely empty, so let's have a look. And look at that. I'd say that's probably over halfway done. Maybe half the frame has been filled. Fantastic. Got to be quite careful with it because freshly drawn comb, it's foundationless, no wires or anything going through, so I've got to be very careful as I move it about because it is quite fragile. You can see the smoke's had its effect. It's keeping most of the bees inside the hive. This frame feels really heavy. I can see that mostly honey or syrup that they've been storing in there. Yeah, I can see the honey, I can see them capping it off. Can't see any grubs. Just mainly honey in this frame, so that's really good. Good stuff. Shifting them along. This is one of the original nucleus frames that I'm moving on to now. It's a little bit more stiff. The good thing about the hive tool is you can use it to prise the different frames off each other. It's really good. It's quite a hot day today. I'm sweating quite a lot in the bee suit. Hopefully it's not too obvious on camera. So here we go. So on this one, I've got a mixture of drone comb. A drone comb, which is the slightly rounded tops to the caps, and then you've got the honey up in the top left. It's like a lighter colour. So, and here we've got some normal brood. Good stuff. Keeping an eye out for the queen. Haven't seen her yet. So again, another fully drawn comb. Got some honey in the corners again, and you can see just the normal worker brood in the middle of that one. Still looking out for the queen, not seen her yet. She'll be around. She's got a green dot, I believe, so keep an eye out for that green dot. Hopefully I've not missed it. This frame I'm bringing out now was one of the first frames that was put in following the nucleus install, and last time I think it was about half to 3/4 drawn, so let's just have a look how far it is now. That's fantastic, isn't it? Look at that, fully drawn. I would say there's a little line at the bottom, but that's fine, the bees can go backward and forward. And there's the queen. Look, in the middle of that frame you've got her green dot, so be careful not to take her too far away from the edge. She's looking around, probably going to be using these cells to lace and brood in. Just trying to look out, see if I can see any grubs or eggs. It's a heavy one. On this side I can see there's quite a lot of grubs inside the frame. Hopefully you can pick that up on the camera. There's little grubs just at the bottom of the cells. What I'm going to do is just return each of the frames to their original positions. The little spaces on the frames should stop them from being put too close together. I'm going to use the hive tool just to remove any little excess parts as well. I mean, I've got some wax here. And I'll keep that because I could potentially use that for other things. More wax. There's more wax here. So I'm going to return the original frame that I took out into the hive. This is the problem with gloves, they get a bit stuck. Not quite as good as bare hand. I'm not quite brave enough to do that yet. I know some people are. Right, they're all back inside the hive. I'm pretty happy that there's enough of the brood box has been drawn for me to now consider putting on the Flow supers. There's a good honey flow, there's a lot of flowers out nearby. Pretty sure they'll be alright, so we'll see how it goes. So the first thing I need to do is put on the queen excluder. I've seen the queen in there, she's on this frame here, I think it was. She's not come into the top section, so I'll put this on. This will stop her climbing up and laying eggs in the Flow frames. Just gently put that on. There we go. So first thing I'll do, put the super box on top, making sure the queen excluder is still in place. Now I'm going to put the flow frames themselves inside. I think I've done a little video about these a bit closer, but once they're in, I'll show you exactly how it all works. Make sure they are set to the correct positions. You want them to be looking like honeycomb, not offset, because that means they're in the right position. What I'm also going to do is I've prepared some sugar water in a spray bottle. I've seen this suggested by a few people. Spray sugar water onto the frames, and that'll encourage the bees to come up, check them out, start using them for drawing comb and storing honey in. The other thing I've done is there's a little screw at the back of each of the flow frames which you just have to let out a little bit just to push the frame itself up against the back of the hive where you can actually see the window in. You want that so that they're nice and tight inside, they're not rattling around, because it will create too much space and the bees might be able to get out of it and it won't be a nice tight seal. So I can see it's quite interesting, I'll try and show you on the camera. So you can see the bees there, they're standing outside the hive and fanning their wings. I think that's them trying to get the smoke out of the hive, just trying to vent it all out. I can hear a similar sort of hum throughout the whole hive. I don't know if you could pick it up on the microphone, but it's like a low sort of hum, which seems like they're all doing this same thing where they're all fanning their wings, trying to like vent that smoke out of the hive. Excellent. Right, so now I put in the 3 flow frames themselves. There's quite a lot of space either side. Now if you just left that, the bees would make all sorts of chaotic kind of comb in the area, which we don't want. So what I'm going to do is put in some more empty frames, just stick them in the top section just for them to fill out. And what we can do is that will have no brood in it. And what I can do is have the option of either getting just the honey from the flow frames themselves, or getting naturally drawn honeycomb from the natural frames which the bees will use. So that's why it's called the hybrid, because it can do both. It's more traditional honey harvesting, but also the new frame flow frame concept. Good stuff. What I'm doing is just squirting a bit more of the sugar water down between the flow frames so it drips down into the brood box, just so it encourages them to come up and check out what's going on up here. So this is the crown board back where it should be, on top of the hive, but obviously the feeder is still on top of it. What I'm going to do is remove it, because we cannot continue to feed the bees sugar syrup while the flow super is on top. It's not proper honey, it is just sugar syrup. So what we want them to do, encourage them to fly out and get nectar from flowers in the area and use that as their main resource now, on top of the pollen and everything else. All right, so I'm going to take the feeder lid, if you like, off this. Sorry guys, no more sugar syrup for you. I have to wean them off the sugar water. I'm not so impressed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the feeder lid to block the hole, because what I don't want them doing is coming up too much into the roof space and making comb in there. So there we go, guys, that's the video. Flow Super is on with the flow frames inside and 4 undrawn frames. We did a brood inspection at the bottom, checked every frame, was very happy with that. You could see all stages of brood. I could see little grubs. I'm going to have another little look at the video, but I reckon there'll be eggs too. I could see the queen. She was fine, healthy, moving around as she should be. There's plenty of honey stores in the bottom. So we've moved on to putting the honey super on top. I'm hoping they're going to get out and they're going to start looking to fill that. If you've got any comments or suggestions about anything that I've done, do let me know. I'm not pretending to be an expert whatsoever. Give me some feedback and let me know if I'm doing anything wrong, right. If you're liking what you see, comment, like it, subscribe to it. I think at the minute I'm up to 16 subscribers. I would really like that to be a lot higher. If you like what you're seeing, like, comment, subscribe. We'll go from there. Nice one. Till next time. See you later.